This is the headquarters. This is where the race boats come in between runs. Last year, they had all the vendors set up down below like they normally do, and then up here on the upper parking lot. This year, they're gonna be on the big parking lot out here. You're gonna have big screens, they're gonna have bounce houses. Again, they're gonna have one of those container pools. Like if you don't have a boat or you don't wanna be in the tie-up, the next best place to be is right here at Dog Days. This is the best place to be, to feel like you're in the action.
Yep.
And
still
just
get to hear the boats, walk beside the boats.
All of the above.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, here we are at ground zero for our July monthly market update, which means it's August right now, which means
it's Shootout Month.
Shootout Month.
That is right. This is the headquarters of the Shootout. There's a lot of activity this year. It's happening here at Dog Days, more than last year. So I think we should start by bringing everyone up to speed.
What days are the Shootout?
The actual races are the 29th and 30th.
29th and 30th, which puts the poker run on the 28th.
That's right. Friday before, the day before that is the Shootout Showcase. Mixed in there, you've got the auction. The day before that, on Wednesday, is the, maybe for some, the best day of the week, the street party. And before that, you've got the Hall of Fame. Before that, you've got Wishing on a Ride. There's a lot going on that week, and I'm probably even missing something. Jesse, I mean, I think you and I would both agree it's the most magical week of the year.
It's a big week at Lake of the Ozarks, and even this past weekend, you guys had the RC Mini Shootout.
Mini Shootout, yeah. By the way, that got moved up, so if you were a big fan of that and you weren't paying attention, it's now in the end of July instead of the weekend before. And the reason why they did that was because a lot of participants are either taking their kids back to school, kids started school, and it's just too close to the start of school, so they couldn't come down to the lake. And so they decided to separate it out, which is a great idea. And I hear it went really, really well. We had a 122 mile an hour RC boat.
122.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can control a little boat going that fast. That was awesome. Definitely not Schaefer approved sort of boat.
Yeah, that hit him in the head. Boy, that would be a problem. Now, I don't even want to put that into into the world. Okay, let's just leave that where it was. I want to thank Dog Days, thank the Barrett brothers for allowing us to shoot here. Thank them for being a big part of what we do for the Shootout. And again, we're talking ground zero. You've got the Shootout Showcase. This year, it's going to be launching pad for your favorite poker run.
Sponsored by Lake Expo Real Estate.
Yeah, sponsored by Polylift and Lake Expo Real Estate, that's right. And then the races, this is the headquarters. This is where the race boats come in between runs. This can interact with them walking on the docks. I'll be interviewing them. I'll have somebody interviewing those guys. Very interactive. And this year it's a little bit different, Jesse. Last year, they had all the vendors set up down below like they normally do, and then up here on the upper parking lot. This year, they're gonna be on the big parking lot out here. You're gonna have big screens, they're gonna have bounce houses. Again, they're gonna have one of those container pools. Like if you don't have a boat or you don't wanna be in the tie-up, the next best place to be is right here at Dog Days. This is the best place to be, to feel like you're in the action.
Yep.
And
still
just
get to hear the boats, walk beside the boats.
All of the above.
Yeah.
All of the above, yeah. But not be caught up in a tie-up, so you have a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, that'd be awesome for them to have big screens out there with it on TV.
Absolutely. So before we get into the market update though, I've got to ask you, I think I know the answer to this. I'm gonna ask you two questions. We're gonna start with your favorite Shootout event every year.
After you do Wishing on a Ride, it's Wishing on a Ride. The kids that get to come down and go out on these fast boats that otherwise maybe hadn't even been out on a boat before, and they have a wish to go out on a fast boat. Mark Mawson, the president of the Shootout, has a story that he tells every year where a kid got on a boat, fell asleep right away from the rumbling of the motor. Mark was like, oh man, this kid missed the boat ride. And his mom started just crying because the kid hadn't slept good for a long, long time. It meant so much to her, and Mark gets drawn to tears every time you tell that story. So after you see some of that and experience a little bit of it, it's really something else. So I would urge, if you've got a fast boat and you want to take some kids out and just really make them a special moment, please sign up for Wishing on a Ride.
Yeah, volunteer. And if you want to just come and check it out, make sure you go to Lake of the Ozarks Shootout website, go to the events tab. So that way you know when everything is. I know we're mentioning it here, but that way you can have all the details, because even if you don't volunteer, you can go walk the docks, just kind of take it all in and just get a visual of what he's talking about, which is literally making kid or adults making kind of their entire year. And in some cases, terminal. You said it's a tearjerker, it's magical, it really is.
Next to that is the poker run that we've sponsored for 5 or coming up on 6 years, I think now. Just a heads up, you don't have to have $1 million race boat to run in that. Plenty of older boats, people that have a fantastic time. Remember, that money for that entry is for charities. Great way to get involved in it and be able to drive your boat, ride on people's boats. Start to that is like no other.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal. This guy was lucky enough to be in a helicopter. I couldn't imagine it from that view, but when you take off with all the boats, and from here, starting at Dog Days this year, you'll be able to fork off and go either way on the Osage since we're coming out of the glaze arm.
So if you're not participating and you're not on a boat, now that you know, so 2 years ago was Cave, last year's Performance, this year's they're taking off from dog days. They're all gonna go out, out to the main channel. Probably disperse. I think that's why they're changing locations, just so there's more disbursement. If you have a vantage point of this dog days area, whether it's from dog days, whether it's somewhere around here, you get to watch these boats go off in waves. It's a sight to see, man.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. That's an understatement.
Yeah, and then we've got the Street Beat Party on the Wednesday prior to.
Yep.
That is massive. And I always hold out, keep your fingers crossed for not hot weather for that. Yeah. That can be a little brutal down there on the pavement. That's another once in a lifetime thing. You've got to go see that stuff. Those boats cocked up halfway on the ramps with all the lights and the music. Nathan, the guy that shoots our listing videos that flies through the home, he flies through the boats. He flies up the strip.
So cool.
You were saying that you take him up on a golf cart?
Yeah, well, because the reception, like if you start at Neon Taco, you don't have reception all the way up at the top of the strip or vice versa. And so we'll literally drive him on a golf cart. And he's riding in the golf cart with his goggles, FPV goggles on.
So that's very interesting to me because when we're out on site shooting, he will not shoot unless he's standing up. He says he has to stand to shoot. He cannot sit down to do it. So for him to be able to do that on a golf cart.
He has to. He has no choice in that case. But yeah, he's an amazing drone pilot. That's Warson Media. If you don't know, go check him out. And by the way, this year, so the street party is, like you said, it's incredible. If you've never experienced it, you've got to. This year's special, because it's America's 250th, I'm told we're gonna have a flyover. We're gonna have a flyover to start the races, but we're gonna have a flyover at the street party. And it'll be a part of the schedule. So keep an eye out on that schedule. And I don't know what type of planes. I have a feeling that's what your question is going to be next. But
it's going to be wild because Whiteman Air Force Base, not too far from here, they fly out the B-2 Bomber and the A-10 Warthogs, which we get regular Warthog flybys all the time through here. They fly in pairs down the channel, bombing runs.
It is cool. And I think you've told me this story before about when you used to live at your old house.
We kind of sat up from the lake a little bit. And so I have seen the pilot before in the cockpit. I mean, they are low. It's wild.
I mean, most Lakers have seen it. Like, you've witnessed it, because it usually happens once or twice a week. And even down by me in Old Kennerhook, they come flying right, it almost feels like they're cutting through the golf course. They're not, but it feels like it, because they'll come through and then turn, And yeah, dude, I get chills every time. I race to my deck every time I hear them. It's pretty awesome.
Man, that's what I kind of miss about being on the main channel. You could hear those, and everybody would stop what they're doing and run to the windows and run out the back deck. Or when you heard a fast boat go by, we'd run out there. Now we're in a quiet, lonely old cove in the back of the cove.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for you at all. You've got an amazing location. Now, shootout. August is shootout. It's a relatively quiet month other than shootout. But yeah, if you're not a big shootout person, I'm going to apologize in advance because this is shootout mania and you're going to hear a lot of it over the next 3-4 weeks.
More to come. And you didn't mention the Hall of Fame dinner.
Yes, that's right.
Shout out to Chris Wagner, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Has been on the start boat for many, many years now with a lot of service around the community here. Him and his wife, Christy. So shout out to you two.
I didn't know that. So you just teased it to me. I didn't know who was inducted this year. So Chris, kudos to Chris. Congratulations. Well deserved. That's exciting.
No, good for him. That's awesome.
All right, Jesse, now we have to segue off of the greatest event of the year into the July market update. Give us some good news.
Okay, here we are. July's Lakefront market tells a clear story. Transaction activity and dollar volume both surged well above last year, even as median sale prices declined. Understanding why requires looking past the headline numbers and what the underlying numbers really say. So as always, we start off with Lakefront homes. July 2026 saw 126 new Lakefront home listings compared to 131 in July 2025, essentially flat with a 3.82 decrease. Sales told a different story entirely. 73 homes sold in July versus 61 last July. That's almost 20% increase. Year to date, sales are up almost 24% with 421 homes sold compared to 340 this time last year. So quite a bit of a jump there. July's Lakefront median sale price of $575,000 came in at 11% below July 2025's $646,000. So that's a flag, something to note there. Year to date, median sits at $632,375, down just 1.33% from last year's $641,000. The gap between the single month drop and the modest year to date decline points to July specifically seeing a heavier mix of lower and mid-price closings rather than the ultra luxury closings, I should say. Days on market averaged 39 days in July, up from June's 37 days, so nothing real notable there. Still well below the year-to-date average of 47 days, meaning homes are still moving faster than earlier in the year, even with a slight July slowdown. List to sell ratio came in at just under 95% for the month, with a year-to-date average of basically 96%. So we're 1 percentage point down on list to sale price ratio from last month. Year-to-date dollar volume was up 26.5% from last year. So we had reached almost 368 million year to date. Volume is growing faster than the price decline, more transactions and more total dollars traded at a lower per unit price. Current active inventory stands at 351 homes, down from June's 370 and down from July 2025's 406. So that's 55 fewer homes out there for sale right now than this time last year. Months of supply sits at 6.6. We're still in a neutral market there, down from June's 6.8 months and well below July 2025 of 8 months.
I have a question before you get to the next thing.
Yes, sir.
You had mentioned, this is worth noting, year-to-date sales are up pretty dramatically.
Yes.
But prices are coming down. Obvious correlation?
You know, it's tough on the month to month. We really get a lot of monthly gyrations. So it just depends on what closes over the month. So for year to date, we are at 632,000. Last year was at 641. So we've reined in 1.33%. So if we get some bigger sales that come in, that will correct itself. We're hanging in right there. So I would say that sellers are having to be a little bit more negotiable right now. And we see that in price to sale ratio being 1 percentage point lower to get across the finish line.
A little bit more of a buyer's market right now?
We're in a neutral market at 6.6 months.
Okay.
So just depends. If you come to market with a really strong property prepped and ready to go, we still see multiple offers. Okay, so we had to change our venue just a little bit, just from that table over to here because we got some rain.
That's par for the course for 2026.
Yes.
Actually.
And in this shoot, we've actually shot it all once already, but the sound didn't take.
I don't want to mention that. I don't want to talk about that.
Sound guy.
Yeah, he didn't show up today.
You pay pennies, you know, you get monkeys. Okay, so we're at Lakefront homes for sale by price bracket. In that $300,000 to $500,000 range, 63 homes, down 1 from last June. From $500,000 to $750,000, 98 homes, up 2 from last month. $750,000 to $1 million, 58 homes, down 5 from last month. And $1 million to $2 million, 56 homes, down 6 from last month. $2 to $5 million, 49 homes, up 1 from last month. A lot of 2 to 5s out there. Over $5 million, call me. There's 5 homes out there, but you should call me.
Why is that, Jesse?
I would love to talk to you about $5 million and higher home.
What's your lowest price bracket again?
300 to 500.
I want 275.
275. I'm here for you.
I love that.
I'm here for you.
Good answer.
It's so cool. You get to know people throughout our process and their family and what it is that they want. It's just really fun working with buyers from all over. Summary for Lakefront Homes. July delivered nearly 20% jump in monthly sales and a 24% increase in year-to-date sales. With dollar volume up over 26% for the year, active inventory pulled back to 351 homes, down 19 from June, while months of supply eased to 6.6. The median price drop reflects which homes close this month rather than a market downturn. Nearly half of active listings show a price reduction right now, up from June's 45%, which lines up with the normal seasonal pattern. Price reductions build from midsummer through fall as sellers who listed in the spring adjust to find their buyer. If they've been on for 120 days, 180 days, they're dropping their price. They want to sell that property. Switching over to Lakefront condos now. New condo listings in July totaled 109 compared to 101 in July 2025, up almost 8%. Sales jumped sharply. 77 condos sold this past month in July versus 49 in July last year. That's over a 57% increase. Year-to-date sales are up almost 37%, with 383 sold compared to 280 last year. July's median condo sale price of $283,725 came in 11.33% below July 2025's $320,000. Year-to-date median sale price stands at $315,000, down 5.4% from last year's $333,000. As with homes, the larger single month drop compared to the smaller year-to-date decline points to a sales mix rather than a market downturn. Days on market averaged 78 days in July, up sharply from June's 46 days, and above the year-to-date average of 69 days. This is the most notable shift this month, worth watching heading into fall. List-to-sale ratio held steady at 96.6% for the month, essentially matching the year-to-date average. Year-to-date dollar volume reached $134.5 million, up 31% from last year's $102 million. Current active inventory stands at 465 condos, essentially flat with June's 464 condos and down from July's 2025 486 condos. Months of supply sits at 9.8 months, down from June's 10.3 and well below July's of 2025's 11.9 months. And last August, we topped out at 12.1, so we're in much better territory for condos this year than where we were last year. Lakefront condos available by bedroom count. 2 bedrooms available, 128, down 4 from June's 132. 3 bedrooms available, 263, up 3 from last month. 4 bedrooms available, 26, down 4 from last month. With 465 total active condo listings, 223 of these have had price reductions. That's almost 48% and essentially flat with last month. Summary for Lakefront condos: condo sales surged 57% in July alone and are up nearly 37% year to date, with dollar volume up over 31%. Active inventory held essentially steady month over month at 465 units, while months of supply continued to tighten at 9.8. Days on market did jump notably though from 46 days to 78 days in July. The shift worth keeping an eye on as we move into the fall. Like homes, the median price declines reflects the mix of units, home segments at 48%, consistent with the normal midsummer through fall pattern rather than any meaningful market signals. So the key takeaways for Lakefront home buyers was sales up nearly 24% year to date and active inventory pulling back to 351 from June's 370. Competition for well-priced homes is picking up. Nearly half of the active listings have taken a price reduction, so there's still room to negotiate. But don't read July's lower median sale price as a market downturn. For Lakefront condo buyers, months of supply at 9.8 is down significantly from last July's 11.9, and sales are up nearly 37% year to date. Selection remains strong with 465 units on the market, and roughly half have shown a price reduction, giving the buyers real negotiating room even as the underlying market strengthens. The longer days on market this month also means less pressure to rush to a decision. For Lakefront home sellers, year-to-date volume is up over 26% and sales up nearly 24%, shows buyers are active in closing. And inventory tightening to 351 active listing works in your favor, with nearly half the active listings showing a price reduction, up from June's 45%. Competitive pricing from the start matters more than ever to avoid becoming part of that group. For Lakefront condo sellers, a 57% jump in monthly sales and 31% growth in year-to-date volume confirm real buyer demand. With months of supply tightening from 11.9 to 9.8 year over year, the market is absorbing inventory better than last summer. That said, days on market stretching from 46 to 78 this past month is a signal to price sharply and present well from day one. I say this all the time. For sellers, whether you're selling a condo or a home, we get you 10 times the amount of exposure through LakeExpo.com. We're not just a real estate company, we're a media company. And we have a special proven process for how we've sold our own personal properties and how I sell properties professionally, with doing most of the work up front before we ever go to market. If you want to learn more about the Lake Expo Real Estate Legacy home sale process, reach out, give me a shout. The bottom line, July's numbers can look contradictory at first glance. Sales and volume up sharply, median prices down. The explanation is straightforward. More transactions are closing across a wider range of price points, particularly at the lower and middle brackets, which pulls the median down even as the overall market strengthens. Home inventory tightened to 351 active listings, and condo inventory held steady, while months of supply fell for both segments compared to last July. The condo segment jumped in days on market is worth watching, but alongside price reductions, rates consistent with normal summer in the fall pattern. The overall picture points to a market with real underlying momentum heading into the back half of the year. So when you're ready to list your home, let's just start out with a conversation. If you're thinking about purchasing a lakefront property in the future, maybe it's next year, let's start the conversation out. We can dial into what it is that you think you want, what our market has to offer you, so that you can come to the lake with better questions when we do get to meet in person. I'm Jesse Falstich with Lake Expo Real Estate. Thanks for hanging in here with us, even with all the background noise. My contact info, Jesse, Jesse, at LakeExpoRealEstate.com, or my cell phone number is 573-260-0868.
Enjoy what's left of summer. Enjoy the shootout if you take it in, and we'll see you in September.
Let's go get on some fast boats.